Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. If y'all have not seen the new show that came out about Johnny Manziel, basically, we are getting the whole story about Johnny Manziel, a little bit of a documentary about how his football career just basically spiraled into a disaster. And the one interesting thing that we're going to be discussing all about in today's video is the fact that this man never watched film. Not zero. Is that the whole reason of why his career never panned out? We'll get into all that. But before that, if you're going to enjoy, make sure you drop a like. It's appreciated if you do so. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now let's kind of go through the beginning of Johnny Manziel's career and see how it started. Because if we look at the beginning of his career, I'll put up some of the stats on screen. The guy had a pretty damn good first few years in college. I mean, you look here, he was an All-American. He won the Heisman in 2012. That 2012 Heisman season was something that we just never saw coming. He won Offensive Player of the Year that year. And then we look at the actual stats that he had. The man, as a freshman, I believe, probably redshirt freshman, he had a 68% completion percentage, 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. You look at that, and nowadays, and you'd probably say that's not that good. But back then, that was damn good. But then you look at down his 2013 season, and he did even better. 69.9% completion percentage, 4,100 yards, about 10 yards a throw, 10 yards a throw, 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 172 rating. What went wrong? So like I said, we look at his college stats, and we look at it and we say, you have all the accolades, you have the stats, you played pretty damn good. Where's the fault line? Because if we then go forward, we do see that he did get drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 2014 draft at pick number 22. Now, do I think it was the right thing for him to go to Cleveland? I feel like that had a little bit of a kind of fault on his career. Why do I say that? Look at the past 20, 25 years of Cleveland Browns quarterbacks. How many of them do you actually remember? Besides like the recent ones like Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield. Not that many. That's why that saying of where they say you get sent there to die became a thing, I think mainly because of Cleveland and quarterbacks. You go to Cleveland to die. That was a thing for quite a while when it came to quarterbacks. Now, luckily, Baker Mayfield kind of broke that tradition because he did have a kind of an average career with Cleveland, and now Deshaun Watson maybe can go in and kind of break that curse. But when it came to Cleveland quarterbacks, I mean, you look back at all the different guys with Doug Peterson didn't pan out. He's now an NFL head coach. Brady Quinn. The only guys that we really have to show for when it comes to quarterbacks in Cleveland is like Otto Graham and Bernie Kosar. I mean, I'm probably forgetting a guy or two, but those are the two off the top of my head that I can pretty much remember immediately. Now, I want to go and take a second and break down what exactly made Johnny Manziel, stats alone, take them out, when you just watch the game film. What was it that everybody looked at and said, this guy has so much potential, he has so much craft, so much raw ability, so many unique talents with him that he should be able to succeed for a while? What was it they saw? I feel like it was the way of how he could just break away from any collapsed pocket. He could run around. The guy, I believe, in the Heisman season had 1,500 yards, so that kind of helped out. On top of all the passing he did, to have 1,500 yards rushing, when you looked at him, he didn't really look like he was going to be a running quarterback until you watch the game film and you're like, holy shit, this guy can run. And now I know there's going to be some people that say, well, hey now, if he was so good, how could he not succeed in Cleveland? Somebody had to eventually go into Cleveland and try and pull them out of the ash and try to make them somewhat of a winner. You look at Cleveland. What did they have that year? Not a lot of talent, but who were their coaches? I believe they had Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel on that offensive staff. You know the two guys, the one's the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, and the other one's the head coach over in Miami? Those two guys? Yeah, Cleveland had them both, and Johnny still couldn't succeed. Now, when watching the actual Netflix show Untold about Johnny Manziel and kind of getting to the big quote that everybody wants to hear about in today's video, and everybody's heard in every other person's video whenever it comes to talking about Johnny Manziel, is the man didn't watch game film. For those of you who don't play sports, one thing that you're going to realize is, as athletes, after every single practice or game, you're going to want to go back and watch your game film. It's no different than if you're working at a job and you're going to go back and you're going to look at the numbers from the past maybe month and see how are our employees doing. Same exact thing with football, even basketball, baseball. You're going to go back, you're going to watch your film, see how you're doing. This guy didn't do a single hour, minute, second, anything. Now, is the reason why he didn't watch any film because he was lazy, because he didn't know what he was doing? Was nobody there to help him? Did he jump into this whole NFL thing too early? Should he have stayed in college some more time and develop and try to just get his mind right before he took that leap? There's a good chance of yes to all those. But it does say here, and I'll put it on screen, and I'll also put the link down in the description to this article here. It says here, Manziel had unmatched natural talent that he squandered it on excessive drinking, pills, partying, and aggression. Talent can only go so far without character, discipline, and some semblance of morality. And as far as viewers can tell from the episode of Untold, Manziel still lacks all of those. Now, from the public eye of me just watching Manziel play football, we've all seen him trying to get back into football. He's tried to do private workouts for NFL teams. He's played up in the CFL, the Canadian Football League. He's tried to play in some of these other like little leagues around America. All these different leagues like the XFL, USFL, all these different types of things. He tried to get into them, trying to get back to football. But every single time he does, everybody all says the same exact thing. The guy doesn't watch film. The guy doesn't take it seriously. It's just not worth the hassle of keeping him on a roster. Now, to kind of wrap it up, and am I in any way saying if this guy would have watched some film, maybe it would have made him any better? No. I think there was just so much going on with this guy's life. Was maybe something personal going on in his life that he just used all those alternatives to try to take the pain away. I know a lot of people go through some shit. I know a lot of people have some trouble in their life. That could have happened. I don't know if it did happen. I haven't read too much into it whenever it comes to what's going on in his personal life. I'm just giving you guys my first blind opinion as to say, I feel like there was something going on. The guy just did not put football first. And that's one thing that you need to realize. When people go into playing professional sports, you're getting paid millions of dollars. So in that moment, obviously in some way family comes first, but football or basketball or baseball or soccer or whatever sport you're playing, that needs to come the very second thing after family. It needs to be right there. You need to be focused on that 100%. And Johnny was not. He did not give a shit about football when it came to trying to get better, being there, trying to do everything. He just seemed like he was still stuck in his college days of where he wanted to go out and party. He wanted to go have fun, when in reality, he needed to go get to sleep, come back in, train, go watch film, practice. He didn't want to do all that. He wanted to go out and party till 4 in the morning, sleep until 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, go sober up, and then go back and party again. But other than that, that's all I got to discuss for today's video. Overall moral of the story, if Johnny Manziel ever wanted to actually play football, he had to give up partying, he had to give up drugs, he had to give up the pills, he had to give it all up, and he was never going to do it. I just don't really think football was really meant for Johnny Manziel, if you get what I'm saying. But anyways, if you wanted to enjoy today's video, make sure you drop a like. It's always appreciated if you do so to let me know you're enjoying the videos that I'm posting here. If you want to see anything specific that I can post here, or talk about, or debate, or just discuss, let me know in the comment section down below. Leave me a comment so I can check it out. Maybe I can talk about anything you want me to talk about whenever it comes to sports related topics. And if you're enjoying the content that I am posting here and you want to go ahead and subscribe, hit the subscribe button. It's there, it's free, it costs nothing, and hit the notification bell so if you enjoy anything. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.